How can I get the most out of my practice time? Advanced focus. Here, yet another exponential chart. This is where you're in the flow. And this is where I separate two areas of focus, low grade and high grade. This is where you're very inefficient and where you're very efficient. I realized that learning is not proportional. When you've got this low attention, you have very low learning. Have you ever tried scrolling on your, trying to learn something on a computer while watching YouTube or scrolling on your phone? It's really difficult to get into an absorption phase, and we often end up somewhere around here. When you're in this high grade state, just think about this. When was the last time where you've been right in the zone? You got done in 30 minutes what would normally take you a day or like half a day. It happens. I've heard this so many times of people. Low grade is when it takes all day to do one basic task. That's because your brain's just not switched on. The problem is you look at the overall time, you don't look at the efficiency side of things. So you can split these into two, high grade and low grade. Find your threshold. It's not linear. Now, this is kind of anecdotally, but this is something that I've experienced and I definitely see with clients. When I'm working with clients, an interesting thing is when we're in session, we can slide them all the way up here. We can resolve some of their problems in half an hour, what would have taken them 2 or 3 days. And the trick, there's no magic here. It's because they've been operating in this low grade state. And I've had a lot of experience to try and work people into this place. And it's really amazing to see because I can nearly see the shock on their face as to how much progress we end up making in a quite short period of time. 1 plus 1, what does it equal? You're thinking 2, right? 1.5. How does that work? When we are having low grade, what happens is we think, okay, I'm going to do 3 projects. Project 1. But you end up having this, by default, low grade attention. You start project 1 and you have this place and you start by default with low grade focus. Project 2, low grade focus. Project 3. And this is a problem with multiple projects. It's harder to create space for high grade focus. Well, why is this? When you're juggling stuff, I mean, I've experienced this so many times where I'm trying to juggle so many things and I realize, oh no, I'm doing this thing again. I'm in the low grade focus state. I'm jumping from thing to thing, leaving myself half an hour here, 20 minutes here, shorter time blocks, very difficult to get into that focus state. Less money to dedicate to each project. Now, I'll tell you how this impacts it in a moment, you'll see. Think about what environments get you into high grade focus. Examples, it might be, by yourself, taking yourself to the library, office, or a studio to working in classes, groups, or communities, going to workshops or boot camps. Now, you can see this is why I mentioned the money thing, because if you're working on multiple projects, you're less likely, with your money distributed across many projects, you can't spend lots of money on any one, which will often mean you don't want to spend, or you're not able to spend on going to workshops and boot camps, where it will be much more likely for you to get into that high grade focus state. And the same thing with instruction and coaching sessions. As I was describing in the last slide, when I'm coaching, I see people make a move here. I often can see them in session sliding up this line, and it's awesome to see. But yes, it comes at a cost. But sometimes it's really, really worth it for the output that they need. So remember, what we're trying to do here, more efficient, is increased learning per unit effort. That makes the whole process faster and a bit more enjoyable because this will get compressed down. The next one, this is a big one, elimination.